Good morning. Hey, you guys, it's Melissa Miller with Miller's Rustic Sawmill here in King City, Missouri. And I am going live here on the Essential Stencil page today. And I'm going to be showing you a way to use the stencils for a manly gift. I know Christmas is right around the corner. We're going into fall. I think some of you probably have some men in your life that maybe you're not quite sure what to buy for them, but what if you could make them a gift? So I'm going to be showing you a really simple, cool idea that will hopefully inspire you for some manly gift making in your life. If you're hopping on this morning and you're joining me, welcome. Thank you for being here. I do want to tell you, if you are watching the replay, just know that you will type replay. The way that you can tell if you're watching replay is if you're watching this video right now and you see the little word live up in the corner, that means you're live, and that means you're right here where you're supposed to be at 11 o'clock. If you're watching the replay, you do have a chance to win because Essential Stencil picks and gives away stencils at the end of this video. So you want to make sure you stay on. They're going to give away 3 stencil sets to 3 lucky winners, and they'll do that at the end of the video. But if you're watching replay, they now pick a replay winner within 24 hours. So if you're new here, there is the overview of the winners. You have a chance to win something, so I want to welcome you. And if you are new to the stenciling community here on Essential Stencil, I also want to say hi. I'd love to know if you're new here so that our community can welcome you. And we are so glad that you found us. I am excited to be on this morning. I am excited to be stenciling this project because I actually, try to pre-plan my stuff out. It doesn't always go the way that I want it to. And I really was just kind of back and forth about some things I wanted to do. But it all came together this morning. I ran into the shop and I was picking up a few things that I thought I was going to use, and I ended up going a totally different direction. So let me know if that ever happens to you. I'm sure it does. What I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna pull up my page in front of me because I'm gonna end up turning my camera down. I can't see your comments right now. Facebook is all weird, but make sure you hit the share button. Let any of your friends know about this, and make sure you say hi whenever you hop on so that I can see your comments, because I do go back. I do look through the comments. I try to answer as many as I can, and I definitely try to read all of them if I can see them all. So, but I'm gonna try to pull it up real quick on my device. So give me 1 second while I try to find myself here. And maybe. We'll see how good I am. And I don't know if I can. How many of you have the hunting and the fishing stencils? That's what I'm using today. And to be honest, I think I've used one of them so far. I really haven't used them. So, happening now. There I am. Maybe I'm gonna try to find me. It's kind of weird trying to find myself, and I don't see it. So I may just have to let it go. Bucky should be here, I think. I don't know if he's coming or not. They're working in the makerspace, which if you don't know what we're up to in the makerspace, definitely follow our page, which is Miller's Rustic Sawmill, and you can see us there, what we're up to. But we've been redoing an entire grocery store building, and we have been turning it into a maker space, and we have been working really, really hard. There I am. Okay, so maybe now I can see comments, guys. I'm gonna try to pull you up. Thank you. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Thank you for your patience. Yay, I hate whenever I can't see your comments because I like to see who's on. Sonia says, hi from hot Missouri. Yes, it's been pretty warm. It's always humid here. So you guys, if you have this set right here, I like to see I like to see my comments, you guys. It really just bothers me. So I'm gonna be using this set. This is really, really cool. I used those deer antlers a couple weeks ago on a project. I'm also going to be using these cool mini tags. Also, if you are new here, just keep this in mind too. If you decide to order, I have posted and shared my link. You can save 10% on anything that you're ordering from Essential Stencil. They also have amazing stencil brushes. So if you did not know that, definitely check out their stencil brushes. They are awesome. And if you think you've got some really good ones from the Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby, then I promise you that these are a step up. I thought the same thing, and I'm not just saying that. I'm very, very thrifty. Most of you, any of you that know me and watch me here, you know that I'm pretty thrifty. So whenever I first started stenciling, I bought really cheap stencil brushes. I found some at the Dollar Tree. I think I got them at the Dollar General. I got them at Hobby Lobby, and I thought they were amazing until I used the other brushes from Essential Stencil finally. And after I had these, I thought, boy, it makes a big difference. And a lot of times you don't think that your brushes make a big difference, but they do. They do. I'm here to tell you that. So I'm also going to be using this little cool stencil. It's about fishing. It's the fishing one. It's really, really cute. And then there's also the fishing tags. So I'm gonna try to incorporate all of these onto one cool gift idea. And the boards I'm using today are boards from our sawmill. These are some leftover scrap boards. It looks like, I think they might be cottonwood. I'm not quite sure, but I'm using 3 of those. And those boards, I'm gonna tell you, they are 17 inches by 5 inches wide. That's how big the boards I'm working with today are. They're maybe about, let me see how thick, 3/4 of an inch thick. So they are just ones I actually went up and I had the guys cut for me this morning once I decided what I was doing. So, okay, let's turn this down because I have a lot to stencil. I'm gonna try to keep up with comments and stencil at the same time, but I'm gonna show you what I did. So there's a few things that you can do with this project, okay? Like I told you, my boards are 5 inches by 17 long, okay? So this side I left just plain wood. This side, it looks kind of blue-gray. I used one of my favorite colors called Pavement on this, and I watered it down and did like a color wash on it, and then I let it dry. So the things I'm making today could totally just be signs. This is a perfect sign board size for the stencils I'm using, but I'm not gonna just make a sign. I'm gonna turn them into something else, and I'm reversing each board. So I'm saving this part. This plain part is gonna have the fishing part on it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I'm still trying to see comments, you guys. I'm sorry, it's bothered me. There we go. Maybe I can see now. We'll see. Thank you guys for being here. There you are. I think I can see your comments. So I'm gonna roll with it, but I'm gonna turn my camera down because I was sitting here and I totally realized I have a lot of stenciling to get done if I'm gonna get this project anywhere close to showing you something finished. So I went ahead and I did 1, which is nothing. But again, okay, so the color that I chose, and I'm gonna turn this down so I can show you guys. I did not choose white. I'm doing this, the hunting part, I am using all one color. I'm using the same color on all of those boards that I have color washed. And then the other side is where I might add a little bit of color in. So I realized that if I did not get started, there's a good chance that I'm not gonna get this done. So it might be a good thing if I can't see your comments. So forgive me. You guys, I know we'll answer each other's questions on here. You're so good to each other. So if you know what I would say, many of you will know my answers. And if I don't see your comments, just know I will try to come back and answer them. But thanks for being here. Let's turn this down and I'm gonna show you what we're making today. Let me get a good angle for you. I can at least see that on my thing, and that's the most important thing. Okay, so let me get you set here where you can see what I'm doing. And I think you guys can see that okay. I'm gonna move it forward just a little bit this way if I can without dropping anything. Okay, so you can see I have done this one right here. And I'm gonna show you. You guys always sometimes wonder how I pick my colors. Let's get you up a little bit higher maybe so you can, no, I think we might be good. I'm gonna wait just a second, we're gonna check that. I think if I take you up just a little bit higher, you can see maybe a little bit more of what I'm doing. So let me play with that just a minute. I'm sorry, you guys. Bear with me. I think that'll work. Okay. Give me some hearts and thumbs up if you think that that looks okay. If you can see that okay. I think we're good. I just want to make sure we're nice and tight on the camera, that it's not going to fall. Okay, so if I can see some hearts and likes, thumbs up, something, I will know we're good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I have chosen this color. I did not choose white because I wanted it to look almost the same color as my board since I'm leaving this natural. So this is not a white color. I chose a color called Sandbox. And this was I don't even know, a outdoor paint that I had in my box. And I just went with it because I thought it looked, it's not bright, it's not cream, it's not white. So like I said, I felt like it kind of mimics the natural part of my wood. If you can see that, it looks very similar to this. So that's kind of what I was going for. And so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna show you, for those of you that aren't sure of how to position and get your stencils down, I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in the middle of this, and I'm gonna use some tape. I'm just gonna use some painter's tape. And I did not measure, I just kind of eyeballed, but I'm making sure it just barely fits on there. Then I can maybe just kind of lower that so it goes off just a little bit because I'm gonna make sure the tops of my horns get on here. So, I can tape that down. And this stencil, you guys, if you have this one or you don't have this one, it does have some little tiny pieces in it. And those are just kind of where you want to be careful whenever you're going over them. Sometimes the things like this, I'm going to show you, I will use a makeup wedge to go over that just because I don't want to hit my brush under it. So I've already got some of this color out. So I'm going to go ahead and stencil this part with the makeup wedge. And I can go ahead and do the words to, because a lot of times if they're little small parts, I like to use my brush. But on something like this right here, especially where you can see these tiny little lines are, I like to go over them with a makeup wedge. And this is the part you use on a makeup wedge. It's the flat bottom part. And you're going to get just a little bit of paint into that, and you're gonna go ahead and offload it. And this way I can just come right over the top of that and I can kind of hold it down. So that's kind of why I do sometimes have a choice, have a preference of what I use based on what stencil I'm using. So I hope that helps some of you if you're deciding on what you should be using for your stencils as far as a brush or a makeup wedge. Now, a lot of times if I have small parts that I have to get into, like some of the small tags have some very small lettering. Those are usually what I use my brushes on, but for this, because of this purpose right here, I don't want my bristles to just accidentally go underneath there. So this is going to give me a very clean stencil on this specific one. I'm just picking up and offloading, and then I'm just pouncing straight up and down with my makeup wedge. Guys, the first time I tried to use a makeup wedge, some of you know this and some of you don't. I didn't know to use the end of it. I had no idea. I think I was using the side of it. So I always like to show you guys, if you've not used a makeup wedge before, it's the very bottom part that you want to put your paint on. Because if you do like me, I just picked it up and thought, well, surely you just used this part. I had no idea that you used the bottom. So anyway, I like to show that tip too. But this gift idea that I'm showing you today, you can do this with so many of the stencils that are this size. And Essential Stencil has a lot of really neat ones. So we're gonna go ahead and go over here to this antler, and I'm just gonna pounce straight up and down. You can see that technique I'm using. I haven't used the makeup wedge for a while, and I encourage you, if you are using the makeup wedge or something else that you haven't used before, you're gonna wanna make sure that you practice it. So don't forget to practice. Always practice what you're doing. If you haven't done it before, give it a trial run. I kind of gave this paint a trial run right before I started, because I realized that I might not get all of my project done if I didn't get something stenciled. And I found that this paint was actually a little bit more difficult to stencil. And I don't know if it's because it's an outdoor paint or what, but it's a thicker paint. There's my husband. Hi. I can't see comments, so I'm just rambling. So Bucky's here. You guys can say hi to him. He can see your comments.
Can't believe you're staying busy talking.
I know. Well, it's probably a good thing I can't see comments, because I told him I just realized before I came live how much stenciling I actually really have to do on this project.
Oh.
So if I'm gonna get it anywhere close to done, I'm gonna have to stencil. So I'm gonna go over these words. But this paint, like I said, it was a little bit different to stencil with, and it really is soaking into my board. So if I want it to be a little bit darker in some places, or a little bit more solid, I'm gonna have to come back over it. And sometimes we have to put on layers of paint to get it the way we want it. I don't really mind it being see-through, but I kind of wanted some of it to cover. So this is the tricky part right here, those words. Sometimes I'm not sure if they're gonna cover as good as I want them to with the makeup sponge. Sometimes letters are just easier to get your brush into. Same with some of the lines, but you just want to take your time. And you can see I'm just pouncing my makeup wedge.
Oh, now I can see comments.
Good. So Bucky can see your comments, you guys. You can say hi to him. And I think my mom is on. You can say hi to my mom too. We are getting ready for our grand opening of our Main Street space, which is going to be one of our new, kind of our new slab hub, and it's going to have a lot of our live edge wood in there, and it's going to be a maker space for some makers who create beautiful things. We're gonna have some tools and equipment in there. We're not quite sure what all is gonna happen up there, but it's gonna be a neat space. We're kind of letting it evolve, but we're getting ready for our grand opening, which is in September. It's on the 19th. Also, if you are not aware, sometimes I use, of course this is our wood here, but I sometimes use what we call live edge slabs and wood slabs on my projects. And if you watch or go back and watch any of my videos on here, you'll definitely see some of my projects with the live edge wood. And we have those available on our site if you are interested in purchasing.
They said your paint plate looks like a bear, and it does.
It looks like a bear?
It totally looks like a grizzly bear.
Oh, how funny.
Or your thumb is the nose. You should turn around and look at it.
I will in a minute.
It definitely looks like a bear.
Wow, that's cool. Also, over on our page, some of you are in our subscription group. We do have a subscription box group. And in that group, we ship out 1 box of wood a quarter. And along with that, we have a VIP community where Bucky and I teach a project each month. So it's 1 box of wood for each quarter. We're getting ready to ship out for the next quarter, which happens in October. And then we teach a project October, November, and December in a private, exclusive Facebook group. And they are projects that we aren't putting anywhere else. We aren't teaching them anywhere else. We go live in there together, and we do teaching. We help with wording for sellers. We help with some other things in there. So tips and savings and things like that is kind of what we're doing in there. And it's an awesome community to be a part of if you're looking for something maybe to help your own business grow or some projects to make with wood. We actually supply the wood for that quarter, and then people are able to make what they want to make with it and do the projects. So there's board number 2. Very, very cool. Just simple. Simple. Okay, and I'm gonna have to get a little bit more paint. I see the bear. It does look like a bear. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm putting out a little bit more paint. And I'm gonna move this board out of the way. I've got the 3rd set. So those 2 of the stencils that come in that set. And the 3rd one is this Gone Hunting. So I'm not sure if the entire thing, yeah, it all fits on there. So I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna stack these up for right now. Move this so you can see it. And again, I'm gonna tape it. And this time I'm gonna use my brush. Oh, whoops. And I'm just using painter's tape. I think that's good. Gonna line it up the best I can so I think it looks straight.
Everybody's liking it.
Good, you guys are liking it. Well, if you watch my videos, then you know that I usually do reversible. So we're gonna do reversible on these as well, you guys. And then I can't wait to show you. Like I said, they could just be a normal sign, but that's not what I'm making this for. They could just be signboards. You could wrap twine around the ends of them and give this as a set to somebody. You could put it up for sale. I'm using the 5/8 brush, and I just got sidetracked. I was talking about our subscription box group. If you're wanting to know more about that, you guys can find that information over on our page. I have a video pinned to the top that talks a little bit more about it, so you can go watch that. And then there's an email link you can sign up for too. So I'm just gonna get some paint on here, and I'm just swirling my brush over this, and I'm gonna just fill in my letters.
All right, you just screwed up the bear.
I know, sorry. We'll see what it looks like whenever I'm done. It won't look like a bear anymore. This paint, like I said, whenever I started stenciling with it, I guess because it's maybe an outdoor paint or something, or maybe it's just really old, it's been a little bit harder to stencil with, so I'm using a little bit more paint than I normally would. So again, that's, you know, one of the things that I tell you guys before you start a project, if you're working with a paint or you're working on a surface that you've never worked on before, just make sure that you practice somewhere if you're able to practice it, and give it a little bit of a test run, especially if it's something that, you know, you're wanting to get just right, if it's for a customer, if it's for sale, if it's something that you know, you're making for somebody and you've got like kind of a one shot at it. We know none of us want to redo our stuff, but it happens. And so worst case scenario, I thought, boy, if this paint doesn't work, I'll just sand it off and repaint my bottom board and try it again.
Who designed the tree?
Amanda, that was Amanda's stencil. Last month, the Stencil the Month Club.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. It was really cool. Gorgeous. Thank goodness Amanda was better. How many of you watched Amanda's live last night? She had ended up in the hospital with some kidney stones over the weekend, and she literally got out of the hospital yesterday, you guys, and stenciled last night. I was so proud of her. Hopefully she's resting today, but I doubt it, knowing her. She had quite the weekend. Those are not fun.
Lots of people watch it.
Yeah, I watched her too. I was really proud of her. I was worried about her. Oh, you can see I am going a little bit faster with my brush than I was with the makeup wedge. But again, this doesn't have those teeny tiny little bridges or the little, you know, pieces in my stencil. So I felt a little bit more confident to use my brush. And I'm just picking up paint and I'm just swirling my brush around, getting it in there. And anywhere I feel like I want it heavier, I can make it a little bit heavier. This paint dries pretty quickly. These are awesome stencils. I love that they've come out with some of the manly, what I call manly. I mean, I know there are women, we like to hunt and fish. I'm not saying that, but these make some great guy gifts. Or for those of you that have booth space, what I'm making today would be a really cool project to put in your booth and put up for sale too. And like I said, you could leave these just as signs.
Do you like to use brushes or makeup wedges?
I like both. And kind of like I said earlier, there are times that I really am glad that I have the makeup wedge, because the stencil I just did, like I said, has those really fine bridges on it, and it's very more of a delicate part to it. And so if there's a part where I feel like my brush might go underneath the stencil, I prefer to use a makeup wedge on that, just because I have a little bit more control, it feels like, of going right over the stencil. So I like both. I just...
Do all those come together in a set?
Yes, this is one complete set, these three. And then there's the fishing set. It comes in a set as well of 3. So I'll show it next. I'm just kind of going back over what I feel like I could get a little bit darker. Like I said, this paint is a little bit weird. It's not the normal acrylic paint. Like, it's an outdoor paint. I grabbed it because I like the color. So it's just one of those outdoor acrylic paints that I've had for a long time. But it
When I seen Amanda's live, must have been pretty mushy last night. Everybody was crying.
Oh yeah, it was, because she was talking about how blessed she really is and how.
That's what they said there. She was talking about her life story, basically, like, or how it all worked out.
Yeah, I know she was. Sometimes, like she said last night, we get impatient with people or other things, and we forget to give some grace sometimes because we don't always have all the information that we should. And sometimes it's good to just flip the situation and realize what's going on with us could be so much worse.
That is true.
Okay, so there is that, just like that. So there is the set of 3 that I have right there. Okay, so I did the Hunting Lodge, the Eat Sleep Hunt, and then the Gone Hunting. And they're all just on this gray washed background. And then I used that yarn or sand, it's called Sandbox color. So I'm now going to flip this over. And this is just plain wood. Just, I haven't done anything to this morning. I just left it the way it was. I didn't paint it white because it's a pretty light background already. So this is where I'm gonna add the fishing on the back of this. And I'm just gonna do the bait and tackle on this one. I'm not gonna do that bottom part. So I'm gonna wanna cover that up, but I'm gonna get this centered. And then, after I get this, I get to show you what else we're gonna do.
What kind of lumber was that? Ash?
I think it's cottonwood.
Oh, cotton.
It looks like cottonwood to me.
Okay. I didn't know what you were using. I'm trying to keep up with comments, but not very good.
So I'm just taping this down. And then you guys see this right here. I don't want this bottom part to get stenciled. So I'm just gonna lay this right over it. This is your packaging. This comes in your stencils. Instead of taping all of that down, which I could, I'm just gonna lay that there so I don't go over it. I am gonna tape my top part down though, a little bit. And begin, so I'm just checking my stencil. I'm gonna get it on there. And on this side, I'm gonna add some color to my board because I think the fishing ones are kind of fun. So I'm gonna add some color right in here on the lure. And I think I'm gonna use some green and some bright red. Actually, let me think about this for a minute. I like the green. That's a Christmas green that I just poured out there. And then I've got just a regular true red. So I'm gonna use maybe a little bit of that. And actually I think I'm gonna use the pavement color also, which is what I painted my other boards in. So I've got 3 colors and I think I might add a blue. Yeah, I'm gonna add this blue. It's called Victorian Blue. So So it's kind of, there's my palette that I'm gonna use on these boards. So I just picked that. I went with this because that's what I color washed my boards on the hunting side in. So I chose that. And then I just chose these because I think they look like fishing lure colors. So I'm gonna use those.
How big are the boards? Sorry.
They're 17 by 5.
Well, you already know.
I did, I measured
you
them.
did measure?
I already measured them. Thank you though. Okay, so my bait and tackle, let me think about this. I'm gonna go ahead and do this in, I'm gonna do it, I think, in the pavement. I'm just thinking, just looking at it and thinking out loud. No, I actually think I might do it in, yeah, I'm gonna do it in this. I'm gonna do it in the pavement. So you can do this however you want. I'm gonna just offload out here right beside this. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the word bait. And I'm not gonna do the and sign if I can keep from it. I'm gonna try to remember not to do the and. I'm gonna leave the and so I can add a color there. I'm just swirling my brush around. Now whenever I pick up my paint, I'm not going right here, I'm going right here where I offloaded. And I'm gonna pick up a little bit of paint there because that's really all I'm gonna need. And I'm just gonna put some pressure on that and swirl it in. And again, I'm gonna just pull from that same pile, my offload pile.
Your mom said lures are bright usually.
I know, that's what I was thinking. So I thought I would use my bright colors on that. And I'm trying to tie in the flip side of my board as well, and you'll see why whenever I get done. So I wanted to use kind of that same color kind of on this side too.
What size brush are you using?
Right now I'm using a 3/4. So I'm gonna hit the top of those. Just pick up a little bit more paint. Okay, and I'm, like I said,
their stencil list keeps growing.
oh, I know. The fishing one this is a really cool set. And like I said, you guys, if you are looking to make some gifts, what I'm gonna show you, I think is a really cool gift idea. And you could use this with any of the stencils that you have, but I think it's something that a guy, I think, would really like. We'll find out. Bucky might like it.
Oh, I like that.
And it's something that could go, you know, anywhere. It could go in your house. It could go in a man cave. I actually was making this, I think, I can say this because Carson's not on here, but he's in the process of trying to buy a house. So I was thinking about his new house whenever I was making this. And he's the one that cut the boards for it, so him and one of his buddies might get this and they might not. I don't know. I might decide to keep it. But it would be a cool housewarming gift, or actually I know that the fishing one, I have a sister-in-law who, Bucky's sister, is a fishing maniac, so she would really like this.
They asked if we hunt and fish. Yes, we do.
Yep. Well, Bucky hunts.
And the kids.
Yeah, I don't really hunt. I kind of stay home. But Bucky and the kids go hunting, and I like to fish. I just haven't went fishing forever. Cameron likes to fish. She'll go fishing any day. Okay, so I left that because I'm gonna do that in, I think I'm gonna do it in the green. Just because it's bright. So I'm gonna pull a little bit of green out here. And I've got...
She opened her box of wood and she loved it.
Oh, good. That's awesome. I'm glad you loved it. You could choose a hunter green or something like that too. You know, you can always play around with your colors. I wanted to just pop a little bit of color in that. And then for my fishing lures, I'm just gonna do them all in bright colors. There's the little hook, but I think I'm still gonna I might do that in the pavement right there if I can get into it. And if you're gonna cover anything up, you can always tape off. But there's that, so I'm gonna just do that little guy, kind of my same gray color. I'm just gonna work that in there. You can take this and you can cover up whatever it is that you're working on if you don't wanna take the time to tape it off. And sometimes if you go on over it, it's okay, because especially if you're going over it with another color, like I am. Okay, so I'm gonna make one part of this green, I'm gonna make this part blue, and I'm gonna make this red. So that is my plan. So I'm gonna go green down here, and of course you could decorate these up, add little details to them, all of that fun stuff. I've seen some that are pretty decorated. You can take a little brush to your fishing lures, but and decorate them with little polka dots or stripes, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna use this.
How do you prevent bleeding, hon?
You offload. You offload. You have to offload and get a really dry brush. So you can see here, that's what I'm doing. I'm pulling out from that. And I usually don't put that much paint out, but because I'm using these colors for 3 stencils, that's why I have that much paint out. But you just want to make sure you take the paint back out of whatever it is that you're using, and you just want to kind of go slow. So you can see that blue. Of course, you could pick a brighter blue.
Sorry, I gotta take this.
And go into there.
Hello?
So, Bucky had to take a phone call. He'll be back. And then this one I'm gonna do red. So I'm just keeping track of my brushes at the same time. And I'm using, you can see my little, I've got several sets of brushes. I'm using my little brushes, and I'm just going ahead and offloading over here. You can offload on paper, you can offload on paper towel, you can offload on your plate. But whenever you come back, instead of going into this pile again, this is kind of key. Just make sure you come back into your offload pile and pick up your paint. And the best thing I can tell you guys is to practice. Just practice on some paper, practice on something. Okay, so we're gonna pull that one off. Got that one done. Look at how cute, how simple. So there's that one. I'm doing okay on time. I just checked it. There's a lot of you watching, but look at how cute. And I can't see your comments, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to reload you, maybe I can. I had the comments coming, but then they stopped, so I don't know what happened. But it just takes very little paint, you guys. That is key. So whenever you're putting paint out on your plate, just don't put very much out. But you can see, that's why so I'll show you in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that board down. Gonna grab my other one. So I still got this side, the hunting lodge is on that side. Doesn't really matter. So now I'm gonna do the Gone Fishing one. And again, I'm gonna just center it on my board. These boards are 5 inches by 17. I'm gonna tape it off. And because I'm using the same color scheme, I'm gonna just use my same brushes, right? So I'm gonna just tape this. And for this one, again, what I'm trying to do is add some color pops here and there. But I want the same, like this little lure, I'm gonna make it a color, but the rest of my words are gonna be the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape off that lure because I wanna add color there. My tape might be a little bit too wide for this. So you just wanna make sure what you're taping off fits your stencils. You may have to do some adjusting and ripping. So I could also just take one of my little things from like my cardstock out of my stencil, and I could totally just lay it over that, and that might actually be what I do instead. I've got one here. So this came in my little tags. So I can take that and I'll just cover that up as I stencil right there so I don't go over it. I'm gonna grab my pavement color. Again, I'm just gonna swirl off the color out here, and I'm gonna start stenciling my letters. So I'm gonna do them in the same color. And I haven't put any more paint out yet, you guys, because I should be able just to pick up from this. So a lot of times if you have trouble with bleeding, it might mean that you have too much paint on whatever you're using. So I would tell you to practice. It could be, also try a different paint, see if that makes a difference. Try some different techniques with getting comfortable with the stencils, just so that you practice as you get the hang of it. You can see I'm still picking up paint actually right off of my stencil, and I'm swirling it right into that. I don't want to go over that, so I'm going to go ahead and go up here. The board I'm stenciling on is also just a raw piece of wood from our mill. So it's dried, so it's been kiln dried, but it's also been planed and sanded. So sometimes that makes a difference too, you guys, if you are using a different surface than you normally would. If you are able to get 2 different, one to practice on and one for good, or you have some scrap, I always encourage you to practice before you do it. And I'm just lightly swirling over my stencil. These clean up so well. If you haven't had these stencils before, I typically use a spray called Awesome. And you can use Dawn dish soap. You can use, I've used disinfectant wipes, work really well. You can see here, I'm just kind of going over these and spreading my paint out a little bit. And then I'm swirling right off of, the paint is actually coming right off of my stencil and back into my brush. I hope that some of you take this idea and run with it. If you don't have these stencils, make sure you use my link, or you can use my code, and you can save whenever you order. This is gonna look really cool whenever I get it all done. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm so glad that you hop on at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday to join me for stuff. I love it. Love whenever we have a lot of people on. I like to show you new things, and I hope, especially, you know, going into the fall, going into, some people aren't getting out to go shopping. If you've got stencils and you can do some stuff at home, I hope that this gives you a good project to work with for gifts. So now I want to cover up my fish so I don't do my fish, because I'm going to make that fish a color. And like I said, you guys can get so creative with these stencils and colorful. You could make so many cool things for cabins. A couple weeks ago, I used the deer antlers off of the deer set, and I made a really cool wreath design using just the deer antlers off of this, the hunting set. So that's another cool idea. You can always go back and watch that video. It turned out pretty cute. Be good for a baby's room even. I think I did it 2 weeks ago. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna lay that down. And then I'm gonna decide, I'm gonna do my fish green. And I'm gonna do this little guy over here red. And then my line, I'll go ahead and do blue. So I'm gonna just cover this up as I go. I'm gonna grab my green. And again, I'm not gonna take very much paint. Just gonna pull it out, offload it, and come in here. I'm gonna work right into my stencil. And if some of my wood shows through, I'm okay with that on this, because I kind of like that look. But I'm just using my cardstock to block so I don't have to tape off every little thing as I go. Sometimes we forget, or sometimes we start stenciling and we're just too lazy to grab the tape. I know I am sometimes. I'm like, That's kind of how I picked up this little trick. I was like, oh, I'll just use this and I'll block it. So it works pretty good. Now you could make that fish whatever you want to make it. And I'm going to use blue on the lines. I'm going to cover up my fish. I'm just going to go in here. And again, so this is where I would tell you not to use a makeup wedge. These little lines like this, you can just work the paint into it with a brush so much easier, you guys, than a makeup wedge. A makeup wedge, you'll be ready to throw it across the room. So you want to make sure whenever you're stenciling and you see these little tiny things like this, you guys, grab a brush, because you're going to be able to work, and you might have to go back and forth. You can see here I'm kind of swirling around in that line because I'm having to push at the same time to work my paint down into there. And that's just how it is. There's no other way to do it. You just got to take the time to do it. And remember, it does take time. So definitely, I do have preferences for using the makeup wedge and not. But this is a tiny little line that I'm stenciling inside of, and my brush is going to get my paint down in there much easier than a makeup wedge ever will. So that's a good tip for you to remember. And now I'll come back over here and I'm going to do this little fishing lure. And I'm going to just get a little bit of paint right here. I'm going to offload right there. I'm just going to go right over that fishing lure. And we'll have another sign done. So I'm watching the time. We're getting there. Because I've got even more, because I want to show you how this is going to come together. Okay, so there's that one. Boom, how cute. So now this last one. Okay, so I was just making sure I put them on there the right way. I was like, oh no, did I do one upside down? I didn't. So what I mean by that is like this, I was afraid it might be upside down if I flipped it, but it's not. They're the right way. So they're all going the right way. So we're gonna move this one right here. And the last one is the one with the bobber. So we're gonna put that on there. It just barely fits. And it looks like I may have to kind of position it about like that. So then what I'm looking at is the spacing of my bobber and the spacing of my fishing rod. And my line, or this guy might come off just a little bit, and that's okay.
How much would you sell these for?
How much would I sell these signs for? 17 by 5, double-sided. I would probably try to sell them for, I don't know. Let me think about that, you guys. I wasn't prepared for that. As a set, there's several different ways you could do it. Individually, $18 to 20 maybe? 18, 20 bucks if I wanted to get rid of them. These are pretty simple ones, so they're not a lot of detail. Reversible, I would say 20. I would say 20. Or go higher, because you can always come down. So I don't want to, I'm not quite sure. I would probably actually try to sell them as in a set if it were me.
Yeah, they look cool all hanging together.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Let me think about that, because I really wasn't prepared for that question, y'all. Okay, so my letters real. These are going to be the main gray. I'm going to go ahead and do these in the gray. And again, I'm going to just block off what I don't want to get gray. So if I were to sell these for a set, let me think about that. 3 signs. Gosh, I don't know. I'm usually good at this, but I hadn't really thought about it. I'd probably say all 3 of them for, yeah, I'd probably say $60. 20 bucks a piece, don't you think? They're both, if they're double-sided.
Sandy said she sells one-sided that size for 15.
Yeah, so then I'm not, then we would be about right.
Yep.
So double-sided, you could easily do 20 to 25 maybe. So you could do a set of them for 60 and move all 3 of them at once. And I am going to go right over this keep. And again, these letters right here would be kind of hard to get into with a makeup wedge, so I'm going to go ahead and use my brush. And thank you, Sandy, for the...
There's a lot of people saying 20 is cheap, 65, 70
for the set. There you go. I tell people to research your market area, and depending on where you're selling at, if you're selling in a booth, then you'll know around you what people are offering. And I do always recommend, especially in a booth, go higher, because if you run a sale on your booth space or something like that, then at least you're getting what you would like to have out of it. So think about your base cost and what you would like to have out of it. And here's the hard part for me is, I have access to unlimited wood. So depending on what you're paying for wood around you, would also help you determine your pricing. I know a lot of people struggle to find lumber or wood, and I know in a lot of places it has skyrocketed. So depending on what you're painting on and the cost of it to you, make sure that you're figuring that in too.
And are you going to seal these?
I probably will seal them, because I'm going to show you what they're going to be used for. or where they, you know, what I'm gonna do with them as soon as I get this. I'm almost done. So yes, I would say seal them. I'm gonna do my bobber red because most bobbers are red. You wouldn't necessarily have to seal them if they're going inside.
That was another question, inside or outside?
If they're outside, you're gonna wanna seal them for sure.
And what do you use?
We typically use Thompson's water sealer in a clear. You can get it in a spray or you can get it in a jug. I usually put a light coat on with a chip brush. And then that's usually what I use if I'm sealing my signs. I wouldn't have to seal this at all if you're using it inside. That acrylic paint isn't going anywhere. Okay, so again, let's see. This time I'm gonna make my fishing rod blue and my string, is gonna be, I'm gonna try to make it green, maybe. Not quite sure. I'm gonna try it. So I'm gonna go blue. And you can see here I'm using the same color palette. So I'm gonna stop my blue right up here, and then I'm gonna add my green. For the line, and we'll make the line green. Okay. And again, you're gonna wanna use a brush for this line because you're gonna wanna work your paint down into it. And a makeup wedge isn't gonna do it. So you could wrap twine on these, like I said. Could absolutely do that. And let's see, I'm gonna go right on down here with my line. I'm gonna cover up my fishing pole, fishing rod. Try to get it green. And if you've got to clean your stencil before you do some of that, go for it. Some of my black and gray looks like, or my gray looks like it might be working into it, but I'm just gonna roll with it because we're about done. Okay, so how cute is that? Okay, so we've got the 3 fishing ones and the 3 hunting ones. They're reversible. So I've got the ends here. And I see what time it is. I'm gonna show you one end. We're gonna do one real quick. Since I've got this out, let me tape this on. And then I'll flip it and we'll show you what I'm gonna do. Trying to get this, so this is the tag set that I'm using right now, you guys. So this is the mini tag. I'm gonna flip that there. And it's got a 3-pack. I'm gonna use the moose on this end. And I might end up adding the bird at some point, I'm not quite sure. So I'm gonna move him down a little bit lower. Put him in the middle. I'm just taping them on. And again, I'm going to use the same color scheme that I was using earlier, that yarn, or the sandbox color. I keep calling it yarn. And I'm gonna stencil these guys. And I'm just gonna use my brush. It won't take me very long. I'm not gonna stencil the whole of the tag because I don't want that on there.
Did you say a moose?
Is it a moose?
Elk.
Elk, sorry. Thank you. What a,
I was like,
I didn't know what it was. It's not a moose. It's an elk. I've been corrected.
yes.
Sorry. And Bucky is the one that noticed. You guys didn't even notice. Or did someone notice?
I haven't seen yet.
This is the first time I've used these stencils.
They're amazed you're doing so much.
I know. I think it's because I can't see your comments. I'm amazed I'm doing so much too.
Somebody said it has horns. It's an animal.
Well, we don't go hunting for moose around here. I would like to see a moose someday. I've seen elk.
What paint are you using?
This is an outdoor paint. It's not anything new, so I don't know if you can find it, but it's called Sandbox. And like I told you guys earlier, it's a little bit funky. It's a little different to work with, and I'm guessing because it's an outdoor paint. So there's that. And I'm gonna...
They come to Colorado.
I know. So I'm gonna do these two little birds right up here in the top, right up here. And I'm just gonna hold them down, and I'm gonna stencil those guys just to fill this space up a little bit more.
Now Marlene said in New Hampshire they have a lot of moose.
Oh, for real?
Moose or elk? We gotta get this straight now.
Bucky's questioning if it's moose or elk that you have. Okay, so there's that, and that's that cute little three pack. Then, you guys, I used all three of those, but on the flip side, now I've got these guys right here. Is that air conditioner squeaking? Or is that, oh, that's you. I kept hearing something squeaking.
Oh, my boots on this metal.
And I'm gonna use the little tackle box and the fish, I think. Oh no, I might use Gone Fishing since I used wording on the other one. So I'm gonna use the Gone Fishing and the fish. And I might change my mind. But I think I'm gonna leave it.
They said you're like the owner. Jagger Bunny.
I know.
Keep going.
I know, you guys. Check it out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my fish on this one blue. And again, you could blend colors on this. You could get all creative and make this fish very, very pretty.
What's the brand of paint?
Of the blue, or, well, this one is Anita's Yard and Garden Paint and Sandbox. And the blue I'm using is actually Deco Art, and it's Victorian blue. And I need just a tiny, tiny bit more. So I can finish off my fish. He was getting a little bit see-through. which is okay. Some fish are see-through. Okay, so there's my fish. And over here on my Gone Fishing, I'm gonna do the red fishing. And I'm going to block this off so I don't get anything on it. And I'm just using the mini tags and the stencil brushes. So for each hunting and fishing set, there's also a mini tag set, you guys. You're gonna want all of them. Just saying. They go together really well. Thinking of mixing and matching all of these is a lot of fun. I know I'm way over on time. So maybe Essential Stencil we'll be able to pick winners shortly whenever I'm almost done. I'm getting there. I'm getting closer. But I don't want you guys to go away without seeing what I'm making. And thanks for hanging out with me. So I'm going to do the word gone in green. Thank goodness I couldn't see comments. I wouldn't. And I'm going to go ahead and do this all in green because it's just really, really skinny to try to do in two different colors, I think. Well, no, I think I can do it. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna do Gone.
Okay, I gotta go. Sorry.
Okay.
I was trying to wait. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and then gray. Right here. So I'll knock those off. Yes, Bucky had to leave. Sorry, guys. So you just got me now. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this guy gray, this little fishing rod in here. We're going to see if I can do it. We are busy. We've been working really hard on all of our stuff. We've got things we're always working on, and we are always busy. So I'm glad he even got to come up and hang out for a little bit. Okay, so I think I've got my fishing rod done. Okay, so cute. So many brushes I used today. Look at that. This is why it's good to have so many sets, you guys. So now I get to show you my plan. It's all gonna come together. So much stenciling went into this project, but so now I have so many options that I can do, right? I could sell these as a set. I could sell them as signs, but what I'm gonna do is, so now I've got that. I did it sideways like so. Because I'm gonna show you what I'm doing with them. Forget which way they go. Maybe they go like this. I don't quite remember. And I might have stenciled them wrong. If I did, I'll have to get new ones. But I'm going to build a box with them. Like this. And like this. And I did probably stencil them wrong. These end pieces. So I've got the bottom. Let me get this out of here. So I can put all of these together whichever way the guys want them to go. And no, I didn't make them wrong. I'm just gonna have to have them cut. So they're gonna have to get cut and nailed together. Maybe I did make them wrong. I might have to redo those because I had them cut the right way. But so I have this really cool box that I'm gonna have the boys put together for me. And it can go together that way. Or it can go together. Obviously, make sure, I was thinking that my ends would go this way, and I don't think that they can unless I cut this a little bit, which I might be able to cut my board a little shorter so that they fit in the ends. So I might have to, if I cut them right, they will. So I'm gonna have to have help, but I could do it that way, or I could do it this way. Whoops, sorry. So then it's on both sides. How cute are those? And I'm not done, of course. So you can see how this goes together. So you can choose, they can choose. You could put it together in your booth with with screws and a kit, so they could do it however they wanted. If they wanted to build it themselves, look at how cute that is, you guys. So then you can take some mason jars. You can tie them. This is a bandana I ripped up. You could tie twine around here. You could tie bandanas. You could tie whatever you want around them. I've got 3 mason jars, but this will hold mason jars for a bathroom, for fishing lures, for hunting stuff. Maybe some guy has a hunting table, but you can now set these in here. Like I said, these are just bandana strips. You can buy a cheap bandana. I just had a navy blue one, and I ripped up some strips, and I'm just tying cute little bows around these mason jars. And then you could fill this with fishing lures for a gift. You could fill it with anything that you wanted to, hunting related. So cool. So there's my little one. This little box will probably hold 4 easily. And I just tie little bows on them. Once I have it built, so I'm gonna have to take it up and have the guys help me build it, and we'll probably just air nail it together. But you can see, I don't know how we're gonna exactly nail it together, and I may need to do some finish work on my ends to make them match, or I might just leave it. I think it's just super, super cute. It looks like something you would see in Hobby Lobby. And if you wanted to mix and match these, you could always, you could always do reverse it. So you've got hunting and fishing on both sides. You could let your person decide. You wouldn't have to do all of the sides, but this just gives you some really cool options. And I think it's kind of fun to have the inside of it all just fun and decorated. And this just adds a final touch. So you could fill these with something fun, favorite candy, nuts, anything that you can think of that you could gift could go inside of that. I'm gonna grab my phone, see if I can tilt you guys up. So that turned out super, super cute. I'm gonna try to show you guys with my phone a little bit better angle. If I can get you out of here. So let me flip my camera. Ignore my messiness. You can see there's my screen I was watching, but see how cute that is? I think it's going to be so cute once I get it all built. And obviously, this might or might not bother. It's not going to bother me, but it might bother you. So pay a little bit more attention if you are doing that. But like I said, how cute is this? These are just old ball jars. And I just tied the bandana pieces around it. So I hope you guys like that. I hope that that's a fun one for you. I hope that you find that you can bring something like that to life for some of the guys in your life. and I hope that, I'm not sure. I'm trying to see if Essential Stencil has picked some winners. So let me see if I can find the winners, you guys, since I can't see comments. I know that they're gonna pick some winners. There they are. I do see them. It looks like Cindy Longman Henderson, you're a winner. Jody Coons and Henny Rose. You guys will email support@essentialstencil.com. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you type replay, and you'll have, let me get you back in here. They will pick another winner, a replay winner, in the next 24 hours. So you have a chance to win if you are watching on replay. And other than that, you guys, I'm way over on time. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed that live, and I hope it gives you some inspiration for some manly gifts this year, for Christmas or for birthdays, for whatever it is that you're making. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. Thanks so much.